Welcome everyone to our second last Sunday soul sesh. So, third week in onto our Sunday, so it's a nice slow yin session. We're just going to ground down on our mat, feeling the connection of your seat bones with the earth, feeling the support of the mat underneath you. Just allowing your breath to come in naturally, not forcing it, not changing it. And we'll begin our practice by chanting Om. So bringing the hands together. We'll take an inhale. Om. We pay our respects to Indigenous leaders, past, emerging, and present, especially on this day. We give thanks to the sages, the rishis, and the yogis who came before us to share this knowledge. And we give thanks to our God, the divine, Mother Earth, our higher consciousness, whatever it is that we like to call it, for bringing us safely to our mat today. And just setting your Sankalpa for today, your intention. What would you like to achieve out of this session? What would you like to bring into the rest of the week? Gently rubbing the palms together, feeling that energy culminate between the palms. Placing one hand on the heart and one on the belly. We're just going to focus on our diaphragmatic breathing here. So breathing all the way into the belly, feeling it expand and rise. Air coming into the chest. And then exhaling, feeling the chest drop. And then the belly. Inhaling, expanding that diaphragm like a balloon. Breath rises into the chest. And then exhaling, drop it down. Doing a few more rounds here at your own pace. Allowing everything to contract and soften. Maybe extending those exhales now. So breathing in for a count of 4 and out for 6. In for 4, out for 6. One more like this. Now we're going to add our kumbhaka or our retention to this as well. So turning it into a box breath. So as we inhale, visualizing a box going across the top, holding the breath for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding it out for 4. Inhaling for 4, holding it for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding it out. So just visualizing this box in your mind as you breathe in, holding the breath, breathing out, and holding the breath. Inhaling, holding, exhaling, unfolding. One more here. And then just returning to your normal breath. So we've got some props here today. If you've got a block, fantastic. If not, a cushion, a pillow, a book, anything like that will work. Just to give you a little bit, the word, bit of an arch in your back today as we lay back in our reverse butterfly. So you're placing it behind the shoulders, in between there, back of the heart space, reclining down, opening up the chest, soles of the feet coming in together, and exhaling to release to the butterfly pose. And breathe deeply into the belly, allowing everything to open and release. The yin is all about finding that stillness, especially after a week of some intensive vinyasa practices. For our vinyasa through the week, we're using our yang muscles, whereas our yin is just dropping in that more feminine, chill, relaxed side. And I've used the quote before that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is to rest. Opening the palms up to receive and noticing where your body connects with the mat. Each inhale, maybe you find another spot of tension. Each exhale, releasing even more, surrendering into the pose. Stilling the body, stilling the breath. We can still the mind. If you have any thoughts that keep recurring or coming back, don't fight them. Welcome them in, acknowledge them without judgment, and then let them pass. Clouds in the sky. I know it sounds so cliche, but it really does work. Often we have thoughts come up, or feelings, even emotions, that we try to push away, try to get rid of, we don't want to acknowledge. But we need to just make space for them. Every part of you is welcome. The more you fight, the more you push away, the more it will just come up in the inopportune times. Just notice whatever that thought or feeling is. Welcome it in and then release it. Still connecting to our breath. Inhaling all the way into the belly. Making it round and rise as much as possible. And exhaling, letting it release. And maybe just adding a little bit of ocean's breath here. So constricting the back of the throat, like you're going to fog up some glass. But then releasing the breath out by keeping your mouth shut. So inhaling with that constriction. And exhaling with the mouth shut. No retention of breath this time. Just inhaling and exhaling, just like the tides of the ocean, listening to those waves of the breath. Finding that deep sense of relaxation. Noticing how open the chest is in this very passive posture, especially if you've got the block behind you. Opening up that heart space. Allowing ourselves to open up to love, compassion, joy, and abundance. One more inhale and exhale here. Now gently closing the knees like a book, bringing that block out from underneath you. And you're going to come into a morning stretch. So sending the arms and legs right above, big stretch out everything here. And exhale to release. This time you're going to inhale, bringing the hands together above you, toes pointing together. And you're going to come into our banana pose. So taking the legs over to the left, the arms over to the left, and opening up that side body. Maybe noticing the contraction in the left hand side. Really trying to expand, open the ribs. You can even place your right foot on top of left for a bit more of a stretch. Breathing all the way into the right side of the body. And visualizing that breath expanding every individual rib, ligaments, the fascia, the deep connective tissue. Each inhale, stretching that a little bit more, opening up, inviting space. Each exhale, allowing you to release a little bit further. One more big breath here. And exhale. Gently uncrossing the legs, coming back through center. Nice big morning stretch. And exhale down. Now over to the other side, inhaling those arms up nice and tall, and taking the feet over to the right, the arms over to the right. Left leg on top of right this time. In the stretch underneath that left armpit, Left ribs opening up. Enjoying this moment, breathing deep into the belly and the side body. Opening up the hips a little bit more, so you just drop over to the right. One more inhale here. Exhale back to the center. And we're going to bring our legs up, pulling ourselves down into happy baby. Really flattening the back onto the mat. Maybe your baby is moving side to side, sending one leg out, and then the other. Finding what movement you need here. And then exhaling, pulling the knees all the way down as much as you can. Unclenching the jaw, pulling shoulders away from ears, feeling the whole back flatten on the mat. Each exhale, pulling those legs down a little bit more. So it's nice and restorative, but our body is still working. Maybe straightening both legs at the same time. Again, rocking side to side if you like. And if you can stretch them open a little bit more. Exhale, bending the knees again, bringing them down. Toes come back in. Grab behind the hamstrings. As we pull ourselves into our waterfall, toes point overhead, feeling the back supported. Deep breaths in here, still all the way into the belly. If you like, you can lift your bum a little bit more, placing your hands under, or a block, or a pillow. Feeling the blood circulate back down from your toes, all the way down your legs. If you need some gentle movement, maybe pointing the toes up, flexing them back down, pointing up, and flexing back down. Being really mindful of the stretch in the top of the foot as you point the toes, and then feeling everything open up. Backs of the heels, the Achilles release, as you point the heels to the sky and pull your toes down to the face. Maybe circling feet in one direction and then the other, getting into the ankles, and finding your stillness again. Removing the hands from underneath you, and grab behind the hamstrings, bend the knees, and gently rock and roll along the spine, up and down, until you come to a seated position. From here, you're going to grab, once again, a cushion, a bolster, a pillow, something that you can just kind of cuddle. As you open the legs, take a deep breath in here, and then exhale, folding over, feeling the support of your cushion. Maybe bending it in half. You just exhale and release into this beautiful grounding position, allowing the whole body to just melt down, letting gravity do the work. And as we're here, we're going to do our humming bee breath. So it's the breath where we inhale, and as we exhale, we hum. Stimulating the vagus nerve, allowing ourselves to rest even more, to become a bit calmer. And it's also a great breath to try and, I won't say drown out incessive thoughts, but when we're focusing on our breath and the humming sound and the vibrations in the head, we tend to quiet our mind a little bit more. So we'll do 5 rounds of the humming breath in your own time. Maybe noticing if you've sunk down even further into your cushion or into the mat. Noticing if you feel calmer. And noticing if the backs of the hamstrings, the legs, the back have opened up for you and eased a little bit more tension away. When you're ready, you're going to gently push into the mat, inhaling ourselves up, sitting nice and tall, and then finding our child's pose, but with a little bit more support. So I'll give you a few options. You can either place your pillow on top of your calves and sit back on it like that, open up a little bit more, or bring it in front of you. This is my favorite one. Knees wide, and exhaling down, hugging the cushion, hips down and low, and literally just melting into this pose. Feeling the support of the mat underneath your shins, your knees. You can turn your head to one side or place it down. Up to you. And we'll return to our Brahmi breath, our humming bee breath, for 5 rounds here. Inhaling. And then returning to your normal breath. Melting into the pose. Getting into the deep fascia, connective tissue and ligaments of the hips. Finding strength in this surrender. When you're ready, you're going to gently inhale back up to your tabletop, removing the cushion. You're going to inhale, sending that right foot back, and then exhale, planting it behind you over the left foot. So you're coming into a bit of a banana curve again. Really turning to twist, sending the heel to the back of the room, opening up that calf, and opening up that right hip flexor, maybe even the sciatica joint. You can stay up on your hands, or coming down onto your elbows, all the while looking over towards that foot. Deep breath in. Exhale, maybe pushing that heel back a little bit more. And inhaling back round. And exhaling, finding that knee on the mat. Onto the other side. Inhale, sending that left leg out. Curving, looking to the right. And then planting that foot on the other side of your right leg. Again, staying here or coming onto elbows. Allowing that calf to release, really pressing that ankle or the heel down. Really feeling into that side body. Bring the shoulders and hips together. If it gets too tight, maybe easing off and exhaling back. Feeling the whole left side body open up. And exhaling the foot back, finding our tabletop, and gently coming back onto our seated position. This time, rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae, and if you've got your block or your book or your cushion, you're going to come into a supported bridge. So bending the knees, feet plant on the floor. You're going to inhale the hips up and placing that block at your sacrum, so right at the base of your spine. You can have it just on one side or a little bit higher, finding what works for you. I personally like it to be at that middle length. And then just allowing the body to rest here. Feet may become a little bit wider of the mat. Just enjoying this easy supported position. Feet grounded down onto the mat. All the pressure in your back and your glutes. Releasing. And just enjoying these supportive postures. Especially in yoga, we sometimes want to force through and get to these fancy postures, but it's nice to just slow it down and get support sometimes. Yin is a perfect reminder to just slow it. Deep breath into the belly, exhaling out. Nice big sigh, inhaling to the belly. Sighing it out. Next inhale, planting the feet into the ground. Inhaling those hips up, removing the block, and coming back down onto the mat. Going to gently inhale this right knee in. On the exhale, extending that foot all the way to the sky and grabbing behind the leg wherever you can, maybe at your hamstring, your calf, or even your ankle. And just pulling that leg into yourself. Maybe even grabbing a towel or a strap or a blanket, a belt, wrapping it around your toes. Just pulling down on the leg, opening up the whole back of the leg. Deep breaths all the way into that glute. Now bending the knee back in. I'm gonna hug that leg up into your armpit. And inhale, place the right hand down on the mat. Then exhale, pull that left leg across the body, keeping the shoulders planted on the ground. And looking over the right arm for a supine twist. Maybe even placing a block or a pillow underneath that knee, finding a bit more support. Each inhale and exhale, allowing you to twist a little bit more. I'm thinking, what are you squeezing out of yourself right now? We know twists are super good for detoxing all of the crap in our system. What do you want to let go of? Now's the time to envision yourself wringing out this tea towel, wringing out all the negative things, all the stories that don't serve you. Could be feeling a nice, gentle twist in that low back, along the hamstrings, the calves, the hip, the glute. Maybe even the upper back if the shoulders are on the ground. And maybe you don't feel anything at all, that's also fine. Knowing that you're still doing wonders and justice to your body just by holding this pose. Gently inhaling that leg back up. And exhaling, swapping over. Dropping that right leg along the ground. Inhaling here. And exhaling, releasing that leg up to the sky. Finding where you want to grab it today. Noticing if one side is tighter than the other. Maybe even getting a few shakes in there. And wobbling like crazy. Energy, tension leaving the body. Really sending that heel up to the sky. Noticing if you're pulling yourself anywhere else in your body, flattening that back to the mat. Back of the head long against the mat. Face nice and relaxed. Upper body nice and relaxed. One more inhale here. And exhale, pull that leg a little bit closer if you can. Gently bending the knee. And inhaling, pulling it into the chest. And sending our left hand out, looking over our left hand. We exhale, dropping that left knee over to the right. Maybe you want to adjust a bit, making sure that you're on the mat properly. Keeping the shoulders planted, finding that beautiful twist. Maybe supporting that knee with a pillow or block. Each exhale melting you even further. Dropping that left knee closer to the mat. Bending your face a little bit more over to the left. Breathing here. Noticing all the different sounds around you. Noticing your body. And it's relief. Being mindful of your senses. Being mindful of your muscles. Inhaling that knee back up by hugging both knees in. Maybe rocking side to side. And finding your happy baby. Pulling the legs down, back is flat against the mat. Noticing if it's easier for you this time round than it was before. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Gently bringing the soles of the feet back together and planting them back down on the mat. From here, lengthening out the legs and finding our block or our bolster, our cushion or our pillow right at the base of the spine. And then exhaling down and over, opening up the arms wide, sending the legs out wide, and finding a nice, relaxed Savasana. Sending breath all the way into the belly, making it rise and expand. And exhaling, releasing into the mat. Turning to our Ujjayi breath, taking the start, inhaling all the way in and out. With each inhale, envisioning the tides of the ocean coming up to the beach, the waves lapping up to the shore. And each exhale, you send that breath out into the ocean, retreating out to the horizon. With each new tidal wave in, carries fresh energy, new possibilities, potential. You have the chance to stand at the shore and to collect these possibilities. As the waves roll back out, you exhale to release Whatever it is that doesn't serve. Waves carry this back out, breathing in new light, positivity, possibility. Exhaling to release the whole story. Waves bring away the glow. Visualizing the sand between your toes as the water laps over your feet, kissing you, letting you know you're not alone. Feel the coolness of the water, coarseness of the sand, and allow everything to just relax down. Take one more look at the horizon, sun setting over the water, sunset colors splashing the sky and the ocean, almost so you don't know where the sky ends. One more breath in here. Exhale to release. Inhaling here and exhale to release. When you're ready, inviting some gentle movement into the fingertips, rolling onto your left hand side, removing the pillow or block from underneath you, or even hugging it to your chest as you lay in the fetal position. One more bit of love here. Ready, pressing your palms into the mat and coming up to a seated position. Maybe on your bolster, on your knees, or just flat on the floor. We'll finish the practice by chanting Om and Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring the hands together. Take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently bow our heads. Give thanks to yourselves for turning up for today's practice. Give thanks to each other for sharing in this space. And give thanks to the sages, the rishis, the yogis, and everyone before us who came to share this knowledge. And finally, we give thanks to God, Mother Earth, nature, divinity, whatever you like to call it. May you go forward with the rest of your week feeling relaxed, loved, and divinely guided and supported. Namaste.